The following is a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio. From hot dogs to cool kitties, this is Darkside of the Pooch.
Welcome back to the dark side of the Pooch. He is, of course, Rab Stewart, Dr. Rab Stewart, Rossbridge Animal Hospital, 208-0301, rossbridgevet.com.org.net.gov. You know it. Go to Rossbridge Vet. You'll find the place, and, of course, it's also available on social media platforms all over the place. Brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Seth and his entire crew, 300,000 comics. They've got cards. They got Legos, Evil Knievel. Any toy you want to find from the 60s, 70s, they got it down there. They got everything from graphic novel stuff. It's crazy, that store. Check out a wonderful place. Kids love it. Sasquatch Toys and Comics. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. Despite a very boring Super Bowl last night.
Yeah, it was. But and I'm glad you started right there. Did you see the Ring commercial, though?
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Would you like to explain to people what I'm exactly talking about and how something like that could really affect, well, not so much your business, but affect the Pooches that you actually look after? I thought it was great.
Yeah. I think at this point of the game, I had gone to a gathering of people, and it was kind of hard to hear the commercials. But what I gather is that all the rings can form a network.
Yes.
And there's some way to communicate if something is lost, if a dog is lost, if a child has wandered away, if there's been some type of criminal activity, you can link all of the rings together.
Yes.
And
it's called Search Party.
Yeah.
And it's for, there's a special dogs code, but if you have Ring and you're part of, and it's really a brilliant idea, because if you have a dog, you almost want to buy a Ring because of it. But what it does is, because Ring has the cameras, you can put out on its network what your dog looks like. You can even put a picture of it out there. And then by the AI technology that Ring now has associated with it, it can actually scan animals that walk by your Ring camera and let that person know, yes, your dog was just seen at 1789 Spring Street, which is just like, I mean, what a brilliant. And as of right now, they're getting about one dog a day back, which, considering it just started, I think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant. It's great, because dogs normally will walk up to homes. They'll usually, and if now the problem is, and we thought the chip was going to take care of this. The problem with the chip thing is, if everyone, well, he's chipped, he's going to be fine. Well, someone's got to take that dog down to, the SPCA or whatever it is, the pound or whatever, in order for someone to come back and get that dog, since it's chipped. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's a foolproof way to get your animal back. But this is a pretty brilliant idea.
Yeah, I mean, Ring it's a fantastic invention.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, I'm working on a couple things myself that I do some inventions and stuff. And I'm trying to think, whenever I see an idea like this, what was the original idea, and how was it described to investors for them to go, I love this idea, this is really going to work. So someone said, hey, listen, I'm thinking about coming out with this new doorbell. And it's this thing, and it's called Ring. And it doesn't look like a normal doorbell, but it's got this thing, and when you push it, it activates a camera and all. And I could just see someone going, dude, stop. I mean, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it's really one of the most brilliant ideas that anyone's ever had. It really is incredible. And now to use this type of technology, I mean, if you got a dog, I don't know when it's not getting Ring. It's amazing.
It's not a new invention. It's just a better invention. It's a doorbell with a camera.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's putting two things together, which, it seems so simple, but yet it is so hard for, a mind like mine to think out of the box ever so slightly. Like it's
now when you walk up to a door and you see a doorbell or a Ring, which one do you push?
It depends on what my end game is. If I need for the first of all, like, the pop-in days are over.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we have a Ring. It doesn't matter if you come to my house. If you push my Ring doorbell, I ain't getting up.
I hear you.
I'm not answering the door.
I am too.
I'm
I am
like,
just like that too. And my
so
next door neighbors come over and they know I'm inside. I can see them and I'll wave to them. But if you call me and tell me you're coming over, I am not getting up. I'm just a private person. I don't like to be bothered. And 9 out of 10 times, if someone's coming to the door, it's someone I don't want to see. I'm either served papers or it's
yeah,
someone trying to sell me some roofing product that I don't want it. Yes.
it's all solicitation is all
Yep.
it is, or is somebody delivering a package. So, but if I'm going up to somebody's door and I want them to know that I'm there, I'm going to hit the ring. If I'm just like, hey, I'm dropping something off or whatever, I'm just going to hit the doorbell or maybe hit nothing at all.
Yeah. All right. We got Valentine's Day coming up here on Saturday. info@TonyCurryRadio.net. We take email questions. I know I'm going to get one of these because all my emails, people ask if I read every email I ever got towards Dark Side of the Moon, we'd probably be banned from the podcast networks because of some of the questions. But I do want to know, since I am no longer married, talking to my son last night. It's like, you got anybody for Valentine's Day? He's like, no. He's 21. He's like, I'm not dating anybody. I said, so what are you gonna do? He goes, nothing. I'm just gonna hang out. I said, dude, enjoy it while you can. I said, I'm not being sour grapes here. But the fact that I don't have to worry about going to buy a gift right now, I didn't realize how much it wore me out. Anniversary gifts, birthday gifts, and Valentine's Day, to come up with something after 18 or 19 years and try to look original is just like, she knew I loved her. We see how that ended up. But yeah, so I will ask you, as a happily, very happily married man, what are you planning to do with Mrs. Rab coming up on Saturday?
We don't do Valentine's Day.
Okay.
We do not do Valentine's Day because my wife feels that it is all holidays are manufactured. Let's be honest.
Sure.
All holidays are manufactured.
Yeah.
But she feels like it is an overly manufactured holiday that really, really has zero place other than to boost someone else's economy.
Sure. It does give you an opportunity to show someone that you love them. There's maybe an opportunity where there may be not another day of the year where you feel comfortable enough, since it is Valentine's Day, that may be the moment where you can finally ask somebody that question, or, hey, do you want to go out or something, because there's love in it. It gives you an opportunity to do that. I think anytime you have a holiday or a day where it involves goodness, which is love, touching, kissing, whatever, I think it's a great thing. I don't think we have enough of those days. But here's the deal. Most people like you, if you're in a loving relationship and you get your wife flowers, when was the last time you got your wife flowers? Okay, so it's been a while. So, right?
No. But so I used to buy my wife flowers all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And, holidays like Valentine's Day, her birthday, Mother's Day, always got flowers. And one day she came home and she saw the flowers and she said, hey, I appreciate it. I don't want you spending money on flowers anymore. They don't do anything for me.
Wow. Okay.
I think Valentine's Day is a great holiday for people who need motivation to either take the relationship to the next level,
yes,
or start the relationship just in general. Like you've been like dating someone like very casually and you want to maybe date them exclusively, then Valentine's Day, great time to do that. Or, it's like, oh, there's parties or there's things to do, and I've been meaning to ask this person out, so I'm going to ask them. I think it has its place. But for us, it's just kind of like I'll tell you, the last time that my wife and I celebrated Valentine's Day together was probably actually our first year of marriage.
Which was?
That would have been the first Valentine's Day would have been 2012.
Okay.
And since then, we've had our kids are, it's always kid stuff all the time.
So was it a mutual, hey, did she say, listen, most guys would go, whoa, that's a big sign, whenever a woman says she doesn't want anything for Valentine's Day, don't fall for that crap, man. You better get her something. You know what I mean? And I had a friend of mine who was married for 24 years, and I'd always go, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? He goes, we don't do nothing special every year. We just get a pizza and we watch a movie. And I'm like, really? That's all you do? And he goes, yeah, we fall asleep. And I said, dude, I'm telling you, man, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for a man and for a woman to step up their game just a little bit. If you're lacking a little bit, maybe in the affection area, in the communication area, in the touching area, in the I'm friendly or I don't tell you how much I honor and love you or appreciate you area, that is that opportunity that day to step it up a little bit and say, listen, how much I love you, and I know it's tough, and we have our highs and lows, but I really appreciate you. And a lot of men won't do that any other day but Valentine's Day. So so I think a lot of women would just appreciate just the fact that you appreciate them, and that's what I said on Fox 6 the other day. All I want to be my whole validation is my wallet and my pecker. That's it. I mean, as long as I can satisfy you in the bedroom and provide for you, then I feel validated. Then I'm good. If I'm 1 for 2, so be it. If I'm 0 for 2, I got a lot of work to do. But our validation is, man, just to rub around the neck and say, honey, I know you work really hard and marriages are tough and having kids is rough, but I love you and we're in for the long haul and I appreciate everything you do. Man, that's all I need. Unfortunately, I never got that, but
And my wife is really good about, like, she doesn't really play any type of games. She'll tell me, hey, my birthday's coming up. Here's 4 or 5 things. Christmas coming up. Here's 4 or 5 things. And when she says, hey, look, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I don't want you to do anything. I would probably say that part of it is because she doesn't want to have to go through the effort of doing something for me.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. As long as you're on the same path, man, that's all that matters. It's great. Speak of the devil, a brand new study, and I consider the source, but from rover.com, has found out that how a person treats their pet is a good indicator on how they will treat others. Rover.com study determined that pets are actually the ultimate green flag when it comes to human romance and relationships. Study found 42% of pet parents say the relationship with their pet has impacted how they view love or commitment. For the study, Rover surveyed 1,100 U.S. pet parents and found that 88% of pet parents agree that how a person treats their pet is a good indicator on how they will treat other people. The study also shows that more than half, 52% of pet parents have gone so far as to end a relationship or decided not to pursue one based on how that person interacted with their pet. Survey finds that 42% of pet parents agree their pet is better at showing love and affection than their loved ones. God. And another 46% say they are better at giving love and affection to their pet than to their loved ones. Do you and this is so interesting because I know that a lot of people would say people start to look like their pet after a long period of time. I've seen that side-by-side mug thing, and after a while you start, I'm not so sure about that. But I did go back and think to myself, I do like to see how people are with their animals. Like if I'm at a party and I see how someone treats their dog or whatever, unless it's a dude with an animal that like totally takes over the family and he's just totally blushing off the wife, because he's so in love with the dog that the wife doesn't mean anything. I've seen that too, where the wife is like second fiddle to the hunting dog. I've seen that
might
too,
say more. That might say more about the wife than the dog.
Well, but it does bring up a really interesting fact, and we talked about this on the show before. I have broken up with a person because of her cats. I am not going to play second fiddle to a cat. I'm not. It's not because I was insecure. It was just to the point where when we make love, the thing was on the bed, walking around. I'm like, can we please put the cat in the other room? And she's like, it's not going to bother you. And I was like, no, it is, because sometimes men have to really concentrate. Pete Rose, 343, 1978 on-base percentage of 417. I'm trying to think so I don't ruin the moment, if you know what I mean. And then I've got a cat that's whiskers are touching my bum or touching my foot. I'm like, dude, I'm concentrating here for you. I'm trying to make this special, thinking about my grandma just for a few seconds so I can last the 20 minutes she needs. And then her cat's jumping in, and God forsake if there's more than one. Then it gets a little weird. And so there was this woman, she was smoking hot. She was unbelievably beautiful. She had 2 boys and she had 3 cats. I could deal with the boys all night long, but the cats were like, dude, can we please, I really want to concentrate on it. And she's like, act like they're not even there. And I said, honey, and cats know when you don't want them around. Cats are a pain in the ass. Dogs are stupid enough to walk off. But if a cat knows you don't want it around, it will bug the bejeebers out of you, particularly during lovemaking. It just happens every time. But talk a little bit about that. And I'd love to hear some of your stories about the relationships you see that come through your door between a man and a woman and their pet, and how that plays out in a long-term relationship, if you can. I know that's a lot to unwrap there. I know you've told your condom story, which is like the best story in the history of the world. You can hear that on another podcast. But just tell me, how can you based on how a person treats their dog when they come into your office, can you see how they're going to treat their mate or something like that?
So my own personal dog is very high maintenance because he's old and he cannot walk down the stairs anymore. And if he does walk down the stairs, he will fall. He doesn't know where to go to the bathroom anymore.
Yeah.
So he will pee and
How
poop
old
in
is
the
he?
house. 15.
Yeah, that sucks.
He will pee and poop in the house. He got to where he would not eat his normal food. And we do so much for this dog. We carry him down the stairs. Like he's about a 40-pound dog. Anytime he wants to come downstairs, we pick him up. We carry him downstairs. We have been out of the diaper buying game for about 5 years until now. Now we are buying diapers again, putting them on our dog. And we have about a 5-minute routine of getting his food ready in the morning.
Wow.
So
that's
you know,
love, man. That's love. I applaud your efforts. A lot of people say you're a veterinarian, you can put that dog down, but no,
yeah,
because
it
I mean
would.
the dog still has a lot of joy left in it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, and my wife and kids love him, and the day that he doesn't come home or the day that he leaves, it will be some very serious mourning at my house. So, I've always maintained that, you know, uh when you're a veterinarian, you are also treating the people because the pets are important to them. And if the pet is happy, then the owners are going to be happy if, they love the pet. So, I do the things that I do for my dog. I mean, for the dog, yes, but I also do it for my wife and kids
Yep.
because they're going to be devastated when the dog dies. And, maybe the dog's got a year left, maybe he doesn't, but if I have to do this for a year, to keep them happy, then it's
Yeah,
worth it. But
sure.
it is a huge pain to do all this stuff. And I think that when you get to a point where your pet is becoming so high maintenance, it's hard to maintain a good relationship with them. And I think the same thing about people.
Yeah.
If you have parents that are getting old and they may be in a nursing home, or they may still be at home, but they need sitters, or maybe you're the sitter, and you're having to cook for them and clean for them and, wash their bedding or change their diaper or whatever. I saw all this stuff when my dad died of cancer, and it's just a lot, and you get to where it's really hard to maintain that good relationship. So that's the tricky part that we see when people bring in their old animals, because what starts to be tough is a lot of people lose that human animal bond because their pet is becoming a burden
Yeah.
on them, but they don't have the heart to pull the plug on them because they're not suffering, they're just being a burden.
Yeah.
And
Last time I went on vacation, I came back and our dog was gone, and I knew it happened, but I couldn't because it was just getting to the point where it was just pooping and peeing all over the house, and my dad just wasn't going to have it, and it probably had some years left in it. I don't know, but it bit through a electrical cord when it was like 9, and basically did the old National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation under the couch, about fried its hair off, but it lived through it, but it was never the same.
Mhm.
And so, one year I went on vacation, came back, and my dad said, "Yeah, Rufus died." I'm like, "Oh no!" But it got to the point where it was kind of like it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Uh, so, you mentioned that. I wanted to bring this up because you know that my next door neighbors, who have you've taken care of. You've been such a sweetheart. You've taken care of my neighbors. When I moved in here, they had 8 dogs. They now have 3, and you have helped put down some of their dogs and take care of them. And you've just been a sweetheart with that. Anyway, Johnny, their grandpa, their father passed away last week. And so his funeral, actually a week before his funeral, was on Friday. But again, dementia onset, 82 years old, taking care of a person like that, and married for 49 years. And I should just think about, at some point there's more to love on the other side than there is in the life you're having, and I think, when God's ready to take you, he's going to take you. But like old dogs, old people, yeah, sometimes it's time to go, and I know they're happy, but I know they did everything for that, everything from getting him upstairs. He lived downstairs, cooking, cleaning, everything for the guy because he was retired and old vet, and just, so I get that. But yeah, I do think it's interesting. And I'm all about, because a lot of guys will say, listen, if you ever go out with a woman who's a cat person, be nice to their cats, because a lot of women won't go out with a dude that's not really, really nice to their cats. And because the cat comes first. Now, it's like children. Children come first in a relationship always, until you fall in love with somebody, and then eventually, wife or husband of yours will take that top spot, as they should. God, your husband and your wife, and then your kids. And so there's some shuffling there. So I think you do to learn a lot by, seeing how a person actually treats their animal. If you see someone kicking their dog and stuff, you better beware.
There was some kind of Netflix documentary that my in-laws were talking about, where I think it's called "Don't F with the Cats" or something like that, and
Yeah.
it's a serial killer that started by killing animals.
Yeah. That happens a lot. We've heard that where people that mutilate animals or try to do
But
things.
also, let's be honest. Like some animals, they like steal your heart because they're very sweet, and they do the things that they are supposed to do. And some people have animals that are just terrors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you just tolerate them.
You
And we
you
have
you you
friends.
you said this before. It's not always the it's not always the pet owner. Most of the time, it is. If an animal's acting up, it's because the pet owner's not spending enough time on it. I can be the first one to acknowledge that. I know the more time I give to my Rainer dog, the better of a pet he is, and that goes for. But there are some animals that, quite frankly, are just like Freddie dog for me was just a major pain in the ass. The dog,
Yeah.
when it shit in my recliner, I was like, that's the end of it. I mean, I tried so hard at dog testing, and I had a special needs son with a psychosis. I had a wife who was trying to kill herself. I had a son that was going to. I mean, I had so much stuff going on here, and I get home, and all I want to do is sit in my chair, and I sit in a pile of poop, and I'm like, you know what? That's it. I mean, I was like, when I put the chair up by the street, I was like, you're going out with it. Um, and it was just like, I'm not fighting. I'm not, you win. And that was the one where I had it snipped and I saved his nuts. Remember, I
Yeah,
left
I
I left the
remember.
nuts on top of the refrigerator, and I would
I
show him and say,
remember.
here are your nuts. And it didn't matter. Dog still got me. All right. We only have a couple minutes left. Any dreams you want to share with me?
Oh man, I had one last night. This is very and man, oh my gosh. Well, I can tell you a couple. Okay, I will give
Yeah.
you a couple real quick. They're very interesting. I feel like so. My wife has been sick, like she's had a cold, and she has been super stopped up.
Yeah.
So 2 nights ago, I was having this really crazy dream where I was talking to this guy, and all of a sudden, it was like his mind was on repeat, and he just started like I'm having a conversation with you, okay, right now, but it would be like you just started going, I, 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 I. And in my dream, I was like, whoa, like it was very like Lynchian, like the David
Oh.
Lynch movie was very, very strange, made no sense. And so I'm looking at him, just kind of like, all right, is this guy short circuiting? What's happening? And so then I wake up and I hear the exact same sound that I was hearing in my dream, and it's my wife snoring
Oh, that's great.
because she, like, she was really congested. Like, she's still
Yeah.
like hawking up loogies all day long, but she was going,
That is great.
and I had another weird one. So like I have these. I'll give you like a weird glimpse into my life. I have a strange infatuation with basketball jerseys.
Yeah.
I love basketball jerseys. I love to wear them in the summer, like by the pool.
Mhm.
And I have one that I just love and cherish so much. And it's the NBA All-Star 96, 97 Michael Jordan jersey.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's from the All-Star game. And they're authentic. I mean, it looks like Jordan wore this thing. He
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah.
but it's teal. It's got a hot pepper right here. And I mean, it's beautiful.
So what
Okay.
size do you wear, just so I know down the road?
It's a large.
Large. Okay.
And it is a beautiful jersey. And so I've worn it. Recently we went out of town, and so I wore it, and it was on the floor, and this was before bedtime. I was like, Elaine, my Jordan jersey is on the floor. The kids are going to step on it and ruin it. And in my dream that night, that jersey, someone took all the letters and numbers off of it in my dream.
No, that's a nightmare.
That's a nightmare.
Oh, that is crazy. I thought to ask you that just because I had a great dream last night and I cannot remember a lick of it. But I can tell you this: every single night, I have a dream that I'm in some multi-million-dollar home overlooking the intercoastal, like in San Francisco. Maybe it's because I was watching the game last night, but I have this dream every night, every single night. I've had it every night for like 3 or 4 months. Um, and there's a big party going on. We're all dressed to the nines. We're all dressed up. I'm hosting it. People are asking me to do some things, but I know that I'm in it. But I know that I'm supposed to be there. But I'm also like I'm playing like I'm one of the rich folks, but I'm not. I think there's some truth to this actually. Um, so people are looking at me like, "Wow, you really got," and people think the house is mine, and I'm kind of like showing people around, but we got carte blanche. I can do whatever I want in this house, and so I'm showing people the back rooms, the bedrooms, and everything else. I'm like, "Oh, you got to see this workout room, da 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 da," and there's this huge swimming pool on top of the roof, and the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and I just keep having that dream and I wake up. I don't know what the hell it means.
I
It
don't
means I
know.
want to be a
Maybe
movie star. I don't know. My daughter the other night we went out and had a father-daughter dance. We skipped that, but went to Olive Garden. And I was asking her what she wants to be because she wanted to stop by your office. She wanted to be a veterinarian. I think every little girl wants to be a veterinarian at some point in her life. She said, I want to be a marine biologist. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And then she said, I wouldn't mind trying to be a movie star. And I said, wow. I said, I'm going to tell you to go after your dreams. I said, I got a friend of mine that went to LA for 3 years. So I'm going to give it 3 years, see what I can do. Slept on people's couches. It didn't work out. I said, but you're gonna have to come out of your shell a little bit. If you, she's in choir right now and she's hiding behind some other girl. I said, you want to get after it, man. You're gonna have to learn how to sing and not be freaked out by audiences and stuff like that. But so maybe I was thinking that movie star, and then I saw the Super Bowl. I don't know if that just maybe influenced the dream a little bit more than it normally is. But yeah, I've been having the same damn dream for like 3 or 4 months. I don't know.
so. I read when we were out of town a couple weeks ago. I read a somewhat of a biography, not an autobiography, but somewhat of a biography of Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And he had I'm paraphrasing, but when he was getting into improv, he was not great. And he said that his teacher told him that, Bill, you have to go out and you have to not be afraid to fail. You have to embrace the failure, and you have to be willing to fail over and over and over and over. Because that, obviously the lesson behind that is that you learn what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you also will eventually lose the fear of failing.
Yeah. And that makes you do more risky things, which normally pay off because you're thinking outside the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, and coming from a guy who has failed a million different ways to Thursday, it adds an element of humility that I think a lot of people need to have. And the best actors in the world realize just how fortunate they are. They know how lucky they are to get that, because they're riding high, and just all of a sudden you get nothing for 3 years until
Yeah.
something pops back up. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Great advice. Very good. Thank you, my friend. How can people find you? Brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics, 300,000 comics, not to mention all kinds of great figurines, Legos. This place is unbelievable. You walk in, you need to go. Have you been down there yet?
Yeah.
It's not, you walk in the door and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And I don't care what you're looking for, any type of classic toy. If you've got toys in your attic, they're unopened, they'll buy them from you. He's wanting to buy some of my autograph stuff. I have not pulled the trigger on that stuff yet because it's my stuff. But he's interested in buying some of my guitars and stuff like that. But Seth does a great job there at the Sasquatch Toys and Comics, Citation Lane in Homewood. But tell people how to get in touch with you.
You can call us 208-0301. Our email is rossbridgeanimalhospital@gmail.com, and we are also on Facebook.
Go enjoy your boring Valentine's Day with your wife.
Can't wait.
I love you, buddy.
Love you, bud. See ya.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.